So today I'm going to do my first challenge in an amazing ROM hack called Pokemon The Last Fire Red. This is a very popular hack of Fire Red with a ton of new features, and I mean a ton of new features, including Mega Evolutions, new Mega Evolutions, Z moves, the Fairy type, Dynamaxing, and so much more. If you guys are interested in trying out this ROM hack, I've left a link in the description for you to try it out yourselves. So for the actual challenge itself, I am only allowed to use gift Pokemon, as voted for by you guys. If you don't know what a gift Pokemon is, it's really self-explanatory. It's a Pokemon that is given to you by another character. I can have HM users in the party if I need them, but I can't use them in battle. The only other rule that applies to this challenge is that I can't use items in battle, besides held items of course. Alright, let's get this show on the road. I started off naming my character McQueen. If you get the reference, comment down below and I'll tell everyone in the next video just how much of a badass you really are. Just like these guys who guessed the nickname correctly last time. Well done! So our first gift Pokemon comes straight away in the form of our starter. In this game we have a choice of Grookey, Sobble and Scorbunny. I went with Scorbunny as not only is it my favourite, but also as a strategic choice. You'll see what I mean later. Warning, there are a lot of boss and rival battles in this game. Besides dealing with Blue, we also encounter Richie from the anime, which was a nice surprise. He only has his Pikachu at this point, so the fight wasn't too hard. Just past Viridian City, we meet Ash for the first time, and for this battle, he can actually be pretty tricky. He's got a Galarian Farfetch'd, a Riolu, and of course Pikachu. We did manage to get the win, but it sure was close and even took a couple of attempts. Upon reaching Fuchsia City, we have a battle with May. This battle honestly wasn't too bad. The only Pokemon on her team that can be an issue is her Vivillon, which despite its level gap, can still outspeed us if we don't use Quick Attack, and prevents us from using super effective fire attacks by coating us with powder, which will actually hurt us if we try to use them. While we're here, we bump into this lad who says he'll give us a Pokemon if we defeat him. There's a trainer like this in a few of the cities. This battle isn't easy however. His first Pokemon isn't too bad to deal with, but his second is a Gible that Dynamaxes, and thus it hits like a truck. I initially tried using our first Z move, but that wasn't anywhere near enough. So I tried Dynamaxing and boosted our attack with Max Knuckle. It took a few tries, but we did eventually manage to whittle him down in order to win our newest team member, a Dratini. Its ability is Shed Skin, which gives us a 30% chance of healing from a status condition at the end of a turn. Not bad. Time for Brock. He honestly wasn't too bad. I Dynamaxed straight away and got as many attack boosts as I could, and we managed to beat down his rock types with our double kick, winning us the battle. Just before we reach Mount Moon, we run into Jesse and James, and unlike the anime, they actually pose a threat. This battle took me multiple tries. Not only do they force you to double battle, but Coughing has neutralizing gas to negate our abilities. Plus they have a Mimikyu, which is immune to the only attacks our Dratini has. We did eventually manage to whittle them down however, as Dratini does have Leer, which we used to weaken them while Raboot just kept hitting them until they died. While heading through Mount Moon, I committed sacrilege and took the Dome Fossil. If you want to know why I would betray the almighty Lord Helix, ask me why in the comments. They're good for the YouTube algorithm. So I've heard. Before we can leave the cave, Brendan wants to battle us. He was a really tough and yet fun battle. We had to use both a Dynamax and a Z move to beat him. Dratini even fainted, and Raboot was left with a sliver of health by the time it was over. Brendan certainly keeps you on your toes for this fight. Once we reach Cerulean City, former champion Oak wants to fight us. And this one was really close. I had to fully evolve my starter just to stand a chance in this one. He forces you to double battle and has both Eevee, Pikachu, and the middle stages of all the Kanto starters. Although we won, this was only because our penultimate attack caused his last Pokemon to flinch. All in all, another close and fun battle. By contrast, his nephew, aka our rival who ambushes us right after, was really easy, and barely put up a fight. Up north we take on this psychic trainer who gives us a Meditite as a reward for beating him. It actually has its hidden ability Telepathy, protecting it from ally attacks in double battles. Not too useful in all honesty, so thankfully I'll be able to change this later. While heading south, I run into this Team Aquagrant trying to steal a Pokemon from a little girl. After I beat him up, she thanks me by giving me her Pokemon. since she believes it will be safer with me. The Pokemon is a Rockruff, one of my favourite rock types. I don't feel ready for Misty yet, so let's keep heading south. Wait, hold up. Who's this? Oh, it's the game's creator. And he wants to battle us. Not gonna lie, that's pretty cool. Let's see what he's got. Oh wait, are you kidding? He's got a Type Null and a bloody Marshadow, which he Dynamaxes. Yeah, this battle was really hard and took a while to beat, but we eventually got the win thanks to being able to predict his switches. I gotta say too, his in-game sprite is pretty dope. We get to Vermilion City and battle another gift trainer who gives us a Charmander holding a Charizard IX. Nice. Looks like we're gonna have access to a Mega. I should also point out that due to the high number of gift Pokemon in this game, I am going to be switching party members around. Plus I figure this could make the run more interesting anyways. Time for Misty. This was another close one. Yeah, expect to hear that a lot throughout this video. We were able to win with some helpful inclusion of Stealth Rocks and Power Boosts from Meditite's attack boosts. Despite being close, I was genuinely surprised that it wasn't harder, since 3 of my 5 Pokemon are weak to her team. Rival time on the SSN. Now that Charmander has evolved into a Charizard and can Mega Evolve, this battle wasn't too hard. The Tough Claws ability gives us a power boost on moves that make contact, which comes in really handy. Lieutenant Surge was really easy, since Dig gets the boost off of Tough Claws. You might think that it's a little too easy being able to Mega Evolve and Dynamax in the same battle, however this game is only going to get a lot harder and I'm gonna need all the help I can get. Plus, even with this power boost, I couldn't one-shot most of his Pokemon. Just before Rock Tunnel, May and Brendan challenged me to a multi-battle alongside my rival. It opens with 3 of us Mega Evolving on the first turn, and my rival's Mega getting knocked out straight away. This battle was a constant stream of going back and forth and required a bit of move prediction, and came down to the wire once all that was left on my side was my starter, who thankfully was a bit over leveled. See, battles like this are why I'm going to keep using Megas and Dynamax, plus they make the game a hell of a lot more fun. Just before Saladon City we run into Richie again, but this battle was honestly pretty easy. We didn't even lose a single Pokemon. After reaching Saladon City, I made sure to grab the Eevee at the top of the old lady's house. I know it doesn't get given to you by another character, but Cerebi says it's a gift Pokemon. I also spoke to this guy who can switch your Pokemon's abilities around. Now Cinderace has Protean, meaning it changes its type into the same type as the move it's using, thus getting Stab on all moves. Dragonair will have Multiscale once it evolves, cutting damage in half when we're at full health. And Medicham has huge power, which doubles its attack stat. Much more useful. Oh yeah, I also picked up a Hitmonlee from the Karate Master. I don't know if I'll use it though. Erica I thought would be easier, but no, she was actually pretty tough and even managed to take out both of my fire types. She was also the first gym leader to use both a Dynamax Pokemon and a Mega Evolution, which really threw me off my game. This was certainly a long battle. We enter the Rocket Hideout and immediately get jumped by Jesse and James, but unlike last time, they ended up being really easy. Medicham and Lycanroc were able to handle their entire team on their own. GG. Now on to Giovanni. This one wasn't too bad, but was pretty interesting all the same. He forces us into a double battle. I decided that the best strategy here was to double down on each of his Pokemon, and it worked like a treat. We only lost 1 Pokemon to him. After that, we pick up the Silph Scope and head over to Pokemon Tower. Speaking of which, our rival is next. We have a 20+ level lead on his whole team, but it seems that he realised this as he kept switching his first Pokemon in and out in order to block our moves. We caught onto him pretty quickly however, and from there, Charizard took down his whole team while barely taking any damage. Right before I can enter the Pokemon Center in Fuchsia City, I get waylaid by Serena, Ash and Richie, and I'm suddenly thrown into a multi-battle where my level lead vanishes in an instant. They start with a Melmetal and a Mega Charizard Y. Needless to say, I lost this attempt. I'm gonna have to grind for the first time in a while. Second time around and I managed to pull through. It was an intense battle. Not only do they each have a bunch of ridiculously strong Pokemon, but they actually managed to freeze my Mega early on in the fight, and I didn't thaw him out in time. I was grateful for the improved AI in this game, as Serena really did pull her own weight in this fight. I don't think I could have won without that. Time for Koga. He starts out wasting our time with full restores. but this actually works out in my favour as he runs out early on in the battle. I was genuinely surprised at the fact that Lycanroc was able to handle the vast majority of this contest on his own, taking out both Koga's Dynamax Garbodor and Mega Gengar, only to fall to his muck at the end, which Charizard easily finished off. Time for the rival again in Silphco, and this one is usually really hard in single Pokemon challenges, but not this time. He tried his switching strategy again, but I clocked him on this one and managed to get an easy win, despite the fact that I wasn't really paying attention and even made a few misclicks. After that I received the gift Lapras from the Silph employee. Finally a water type. This will get a spot on the team for sure. Suddenly just seen James attack us again. Oh, go away. Now before we can confront Giovanni, we've got to have a double battle with Maxie and Archie alongside Brendan, who in all honesty didn't do much to help. Despite our massive level gap on them, these guys hit insanely hard. Not surprising really, when you consider that both of them have both a Mega and a Primal Groudon and Kyogre. Still, we managed to pull through on only my second attempt. After that, Brendan buggers off and leaves me to deal with Giovanni all by myself. Yeah, thanks a lot mate. Team Rocket's boss was just like he is in the base game. That being that he is much easier than the previous battle you just fought. Does anyone else find that a bit weird, or is it just me? Oh well, on to Sabrina. She was the absolute worst gym leader so far. She wastes your time by constantly healing and switching out her Pokemon. Second, not only does she have a Mega Gardevoir, but also a goddamn Calyrex. Since when did gym leaders get legendaries? On top of that, plenty of her Pokemon outspeed mine, and hit us incredibly hard. Needless to say, I'm gonna have to come back later. Right before I can head into the Pokemon Mansion, Serena shows up and wants to fight us. I wasn't prepared for this battle, as you can tell by the fact that my first Pokemon was Dragonite and hers was a Sylveon, forcing me to switch out straight away. When I saw that her second Pokemon was a Florges, I was worried that she'd have a lot of fairies, but thankfully that wasn't the case. Amazingly, she didn't have a Mega either, which I was grateful for. After a bit of back and forth, I got a relatively comfortable victory and even got awarded with the Choice Band, a fantastic held item that raises your physical attack by 50%. In exchange for only being able to use one attack in battle. I reckon Medicham is gonna love this. If you didn't know we were playing a Rom Hack by this point, you would now thanks to this Blaine fight, and by that I mean that he actually made us work for our victory. Everyone knows how easy he is in the original games, but he was anything but that here. His Darmanitan at the start of the fight was much faster than I expected, to the point where I thought it might have been Choice Scarfed, but no, it was just that fast. Luckily I managed to set up Stealth Rocks before he took out Lycanroc. I'm not sure if I could have won without the chip damage that this hazard inflicts. I was grateful that he didn't have a legendary either. Oh well, at least his Mega Typhlosion did look really cool. I guess we better get back to Sabrina. This time she was much easier. I made sure to set up Stealth Rocks from the start, and from there, most of her team was taken care of with Dragonite, who really pulled its weight in this battle. GG! Now we have to fight Giovanni. I couldn't do it. I could not do it. He has the armoured Mewtwo from the first movie, and this thing is just outright broken. Insanely fast, bulky, and stupidly overpowered. Needless to say, he wiped the floor with me. I'm gonna have to rework my team. After leveling up a bit and optimising Charizard for its other Mega form, we came back and managed to pull through. But as I'm sure you're getting tired of hearing me say, it wasn't easy. We had to combine both power and strategy. His Armoured Mewtwo was my crux. However, Giovanni's full restore stalling ended up being his downfall, as I was able to wait him out and allow Mewtwo's Dynamax to run out. I did have to sacrifice Lycanroc partway through in order for Charizard to set up the sun again. It was a long fight, but I finally took him down and got the TM for Earthquake. The rival by contrast was much easier. He continued to spam his switching in and out strategy to keep me guessing, and he even managed to take out a couple of my team members, but he wasn't overly difficult. Right before we can challenge the league, Professor Oak wants to test us to see if we're ready. He says that he tested our rival and couldn't beat him, so let's see if we're ready for this. He gave us a bit of trouble when his Charizard burned Lycanroc and his Dragonite took mine out, but overall he wasn't too bad. Now we're at the league, let's take one look at the team before we head in. Overall, I'm really pleased with how this team has turned out. They've pulled their weight and each contributed to the team really well. So do you think I can beat the league? Leave your guesses in the comments below. Let's do this. Oh wait, Lorelei's not here? Looks like I've got to do her post-game subplot before the league. Alright, let's get this over with. Alright, now that we've gotten that out of the way, we can deal with Lorelei. Now I know why I had to do the subplot first. Look at this. First off, her team are all level 100. Second, she lies on setting up Hail and Dynamaxing straight away. After that, she goes all out with a Mega Glalie, and later brings out a Regice and a Frostlass, who knows not only Thunder Wave, but also used Destiny Bond towards the end as a final middle finger when it became clear that she wasn't going to win. I gotta be honest, although I won on my first attempt, I'm really worried about how the rest of the league is going to go. Now for Bruno, and this one took a few attempts. I know that this successful attempt doesn't look too bad, but that comes from the trial and error of working out which Pokemon to send out first. And you know a battle is hard when you have to use both a Mega and a Dynamax form at once at the beginning of the fight. It was in this battle that I realised the Elite Four don't use potions to heal, which I could not be more grateful for. It's also nice to see that Bruno has a full team of fighting type Pokemon, as opposed to having a couple Onix like in the base game. Overall for once, Bruno was actually hard. Agatha was just outright painful to fight. Just like in the base game, her tactics revolve around dismantling your team and disrupting your strategies. She also loves her stat altering moves too. Thankfully, after a few attempts, and with some move prediction, I was able to get the win. I swear if you try this fight unprepared, you won't stand a ghost of a chance. Now for my favourite Elite Four member, Dragon Trainer Lance. I actually lost count of the amount of times I lost this fight. He starts off with both a Dynamax Garchomp and a Mega Flygon. That Garchomp became the absolute bane of my existence. It moves too fast and hits way too hard. Eventually I was able to figure out this strategy in order to OHKO a few of his team members thanks to Lapras, who was without a doubt the MVP of this fight. After that, I had to combine the firepower of Mega Charizard's Drought and Cinderace's Sun Boosted Z move in order to take out his final Pokemon. Even when I won, I was left with one Pokemon with only a sliver of health. GG, Lance. Alright, one last fight between us and completing this challenge. Let's go. I was grateful that I was able to go back to single battles, but what I wasn't grateful for was the fact that my rival completely changed his team and now has 3 legendaries. Thankfully though, this only took 3 attempts once I figured out his strategy. Although I couldn't Dynamax in this fight, this meant he couldn't either. I did have to rely on Stealth Rocks, but this helped out a lot, as 3 of his Pokemon were weak to it. Overall, this battle was easier than Lance before him, but it was a fun challenge and a nice ending to this run. So, can you beat Pokemon the last Fire Red with only gift Pokemon? Yes, you can, and I did. If any of you are looking for a fun and challenging ROM hack to play, I would highly recommend that you check this one out. Word of warning though, it will take you a long time to finish. But hey, that just means more Pokemon playtime, which is always a plus in my books. Now I need a challenge that isn't going to take as long. So join me next time when I attempt to beat Pokemon Gold with the dreaded Miltank. Hope to see you guys there, and as always, thanks for watching.